Most people think progressive overload means add weight to the bar, and that's it. But here's the problem. If that's your only strategy, you will hit a wall. And when you do, most people either stall out, get injured trying to force weight that isn't ready, or give up. In this video, I'm going to show you how progressive overload actually works across all three energy systems, and why the way you progress strength training is completely different from how you progress hypertrophy or aerobic work. Progressive overload is the principle that says your body only adapts to stress that's harder than what it's already adapted to. If you do the same thing every session, your body has no reason to change. You have to consistently make training harder over time. But harder doesn't always mean more weight. That's the mistake. The variables you can overload include weight, reps, sets, rest periods, training frequency, range of motion, tempo, and exercise difficulty. The question is, which variables matter for which adaptation? And this is where most programs fall apart. They treat progressive overload as one universal concept when it's actually completely different depending on which energy system you're training. For Phosphagen training, your max strength work, progressive overload is almost entirely about load. More weight on the bar. The adaptation you're chasing is neural. More motor units recruited, higher rate of force development, stronger tendons and connective tissue. To trigger that adaptation, the load has to be heavy enough to recruit your highest threshold motor units. That means working above 85% of your 1 rep max. So for Phosphagen work, overload means adding weight. Even small jumps, 5 pounds on a squat, 2.5 pounds on a press, count. What you log in your journal is target weight versus actual weight. If you hit your target sets and reps with good form, you earn the right to add weight next session. That's the Phosphagen progression loop. For glycolytic training, your hypertrophy work, progressive overload is more flexible. Yes, you can add weight, but you can also add reps to the same weight. Add a 4th set. Reduce your rest period by 15 seconds. Improve your form so you're getting deeper range of motion. All of these count as overload for hypertrophy because the stimulus for muscle growth is mechanical tension and metabolic stress, not just raw load. The practical approach: use a rep range like 8 to 12. When you can complete the top end of your rep range on all sets with good form, add weight. You log your target reps versus actual reps. When you consistently hit the top end, you progress. The glycolytic progression loop is slower and more nuanced than Phosphagen, and that's okay. For oxidative training, your aerobic and zone 2 work, progressive overload looks completely different. You're not adding weight, you're adding duration, adding frequency, or improving pace while staying in zone 2 heart rate. Your progression might look like week 1, 2 20-minute zone 2 sessions, week 4, 3 30-minute sessions, week 8, 3 45-minute sessions. The adaptation is mitochondrial density, capillary growth, fat oxidation efficiency. You cannot rush this. You overload by adding time, not intensity. This is why people who do zone 2 once and decide it's too easy are completely missing the point. The overload is cumulative. You are building infrastructure. Here's the critical problem. If you're not logging your training, you have no idea if you're actually overloading. You think you're progressing, but you might be doing the same thing week after week. The Swole journal solves this because it tracks target versus actual on every session. You write what you planned and what you actually did. After 12 weeks, you have a complete data record of every overload you applied across all three energy systems. You can see exactly where you progressed, where you stalled, and what variables you haven't adjusted yet. That's the difference between training with a purpose and just showing up and hoping for the best. The journal is $14.99 on Amazon, link in the description. The companion video series is free at swolejournal.com. If this helped, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. Train all three, progress all three, track everything. I'll see you in the next one.